Is it a failure to appear? But anyway, whatever it is,
Right.
I think we all need to move on and don't spend so much time on whether the president is going to appear or not. And I think that for those who plan that he should appear, because something tells me the whole idea was for him to make some statements that would, engender confidence, that
Right.
will bring about confidence from the populace in whatever reforms are likely to take place. I think the president has another opportunity in his New Year speech he has an opportunity there to espouse new things that he's going to be doing to turn things around. Definitely, we cannot be going along the old path. And this is what I suggest. I suggest that his speech on January 1 should be loaded.
Right.
It should show not the normal rhetoric about we have done this and achieved that. Rather, it should chart the way forward in a realistic manner and address the major issues, the two major issues, security and economy. Those are the two major issues. He should do that. And immediately after that, if he gives a speech, maybe the weekend after, the vice president should have a 2-hour press conference to take questions. I'm suggesting this in reality.
Okay.
There's no point beating a dead horse. We all know that the president has a bit of problems with holding press conferences, and so we are past that. So what I would suggest is, the speech in January should be loaded. It should
Right.
be well written, well crafted, have good information for us to know that okay, this is the way we are going in the new year, because we definitely cannot go along the same. And I hope it will address the issues. And then the vice president can then have a press conference and take whatever questions, and Nigerians can then see that okay, this is the direction in which we're going. This is absolutely necessary. This is not, because the way we are being driven down a dark road, and we don't know where it's going to end. And this is what I would say. I think we should leave the issue of whether that is gone. Let's divert our attention from the main issues.
Indeed. Let's go to page 9 of the Vanguard. GOC 6th Division General Rafin dies of COVID-19 complications. It comes with 3 riders. Army cancels annual conference, urges PSOs, GOCs, others to self-isolate. Nigeria to get COVID-19 vaccine January 2021, says Okonjo-Iweala. Africa needs $9 billion to buy, distribute 1.4 billion doses of COVID-19 vaccines, WHO.
Now, Sheriff, don't you find it odd that the announcement that we're going to get vaccination in 2021,
In
and we
January.
don't know what in January, is coming from Okonjo-Iweala, who is not an official of this government? You can see it. So what exactly is going on? I'd like the health minister to immediately explain this to us.
Right.
She's not a member of this
Right.
government.
Right.
I mean, she's renowned. She has good positions, but she's not a member of this government, and therefore, it's good for the government not just to tell us that we're going to have the vaccine in 2021, but what's the priority list? How are we going to get it? Is it going to be nationwide? Is it going to be free, immediately available, and so on and so forth? The other thing that should concern us now
Right.
is that there is a sudden upsurge in this COVID, whatever. And indeed, there was news somewhere, I saw it somewhere, early this morning, I can't remember where, that the isolation centers just might be reopened.
Right.
So we are going through a second surge, and we're beginning to have news here and there about, this one died of COVID, that one. There's a renowned politician, for example, who died somewhere in Ibadan, and it's being rumored that it was COVID. You do have friends now who tell you that, we went for one ceremony, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 people came down with COVID. We are not keeping records. But COVID appears to be on the rampage in Nigeria. The unfortunate thing is we are all in denial. And I must confess, that includes me. Okay? So now is the time for us to do a rethink about our attitude towards this thing called COVID. Everybody has, and I mean that but that sense, that makes you be extremely careful. I agree with few ones, but with this plan now, be staying put in my house. I'd like to be with every. Remember that for COVID, unless you of goods, you may not do both and another was the listener start again. If you in house and even privately, it doesn't know that wash their hands And there's a big COVID has gone with people. People think COVID is a human being. Some people think it's there's a buying and bed COVID and
the frog maybe it's section tertiary. Ask question still the way where before now.
of course not. For the things absolute. That Nigeria is that for people to say. So when fellow guns that should be owned, how do I translate for everybody's money? So I'm properly. That's it. If you think it comes to like, as soon as you say, they're dinning here.
Man.
It's Christmas for the civil servants who are going to handle those things.
But why are we like that though?
Well, that's the way we are. From this year, I've told you, I'm not going to kill myself. From next year, I'm going to admit to myself that there are certain things that are Nigerian. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's no point running away from it.
Yeah.
And if you cry from now till kingdom come, I was going to say this morning, look at the papers. If you go through the papers, really, the way we do here, you'll be shocked at the level of crime. The level of crime. Put that side by side with the foreign newspaper. Put maybe the Punch side by side with the Mirror of the UK.
Yeah.
You will see that 80% of what you're talking about here is crime and politics. On the other hand, they're talking of development and so on and so forth. So, I mean, I think it's time to admit that's the way we are. In a country where some states are still saying that their minimum wage, they cannot pay above 18,000. 18,000 will not get you a well-rounded Chinese meal in a middle-class restaurant in Lagos. And yet you can't pay 18,000 to your workers. I mean, forget about pensioners. All pensioners, I must say, have been bound to the Phillies. It's the kind of country it's where we have found ourselves. We encourage our leaders to do so. Okay, when it's obvious to you, when it's very, look at the video that has gone viral. I think it was a governor or chief of staff.
Who was the chief of staff
in government house who was spraying a preacher.
Chief of staff to Bazu.
I mean, what kind of, I beg, this is Christmas.
That's funny to get all worked up, eh?
Yeah,
I
need to chill.
Slowing down a little bit,
need to
right?
slow down a
Yeah,
little bit.
I know. Let's stay with the Vanguard. We're going to the front, though. Page 5 of the Vanguard. Anguish as gunmen kill 16 on Abuja Kaduna Road.
Yes, this was what I was referring to, and the newspapers are full of crime stories. I can only plead with all of us to be very careful. Be very careful where you go. Be very careful, what you expose. Be very careful what you do. Be very careful of those around you. Crime is on a serious rise. Serious rise. And I'm not going to waste valuable time talking about what we should do and what we shouldn't do. It's not going to happen, at least not in the immediate whatever. So all of us need to be very careful. I plead with you. I beg you. Be very, very, put a premium on your life. Put value on your life and those around you.
Right.
Try as much. There is so much crime, unbelievable. Killings, kidnappings, duping. There's even a story of a lady who kidnapped herself.
Yeah.
Nigeria.
Yeah.
I like Nigeria, I tell you, my brother. He
Right.
kidnapped himself.
A lot of people, I've been seeing comments that it's because it's December, but then I beg to disagree, because this had been said before now that we're going to experience a surge in crime rate.
No, it's not. It's not. In fact, usually you'd have back in the day,
Right.
You immediate past,
Yeah,
you'd have
yeah.
things like that. But what we have today, and the kind of crimes that are being committed, human sacrifice, these are things that we have started with. We all started with our eyes wide open, and we have a disaster waiting to happen. But like I said, I don't want to waste valuable time, talking about what we should do. In the meantime, let us all try and keep safe. Okay?
Indeed.
Let's try and keep safe.
We're streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. Nigeria Info 99.3 is what you need to search for. Drop your comments there. We'll take them. You can also tweet us at Nigeria Info FM on Twitter. Page 11 of the Vanguard. Insurgency war. Southern Middle Belt leaders false demotion of General Adeniyi. That's there.
Well, this statement says it was a statement by Yinka Odumaki, Guy Ikoku, Senator Bassi, Isu Adogo, and what their argument is that Major General Adeniyi faced military discipline. He went through the legal process, and somewhere along the line he was found guilty. Now he still has the opportunity to appeal. Their own argument is that, because he's a southerner, why is he being treated this way? Had it been a northerner, it would have been that there were other northerners who faced the same thing and are treated that way. Odumaki and co., this is a very dangerous rhetoric you're bringing into the army. and I'm going to ask that all of us be adults and be extremely careful. Remember that the army is made up of different Nigerian citizens. And whether you like it or not, in a way, they are defending the lives of you and I. The moment you start to introduce things like this publicly, remember these people are fighting side by side in the war front. The moment you start to introduce statements like this in public, you are creating a very, very dangerous situation. And I think that, those who know should call a ring to call these people and tell them that what they are doing is utterly irresponsible. And they are putting the lives of this nation at risk. Even if you felt so, even if you feel that it is true, it is not something that you bring to the public space as a responsible adult. And therefore, I'm going to plead with them. Do not throw this country into confusion. And if you have an army that is divided along ethnic lines, what is left? Do you want them
that's dangerous.
It's very dangerous.
That's dangerous.
It is not just very, it is extremely dangerous. And it's highly irresponsible to make such statements. We sit down in the comfort of our homes, in the comfort of the wealth we have acquired, and we want to bound other people to the Philistines. What do you think the lower ranks will be thinking if they see stories like this? There are problems all over the world when you have people together. There are problems, ethnic problems, and so, but it is better managed. But to say this about a man he hasn't even gone through the whole process, you now make a public statement saying that it's because of where he comes from that he's being treated like that. So what do you want the Northerners in the army to do now? I would like to apologize to our military men, on behalf of these bloody civilians for bringing politics into this situation. It's because it was not well thought out. And I think we need to halt this kind of narrative if we want to keep our country together. If we want to destroy our country, then we can continue with this kind of thing. And I know that an argument is going to start in the social media about with freedom for this and freedom for that. Good luck to those who think so. But I'm going to pray that somebody somewhere, a group of people somewhere, will be able to call these people to order to say, these are not the kind of things you say in public. These are not the kind of statements that you make in public.
Right, indeed. Quickly, let's go to YouTube to go take some comments off of YouTube very quickly. Let's see. Daybo. Okay, I thought I was seeing.
Sorry,
double.
and there's another thing here. Yeah. They also asked that, what has the Air Force done over the controversial killing of the
lady
pilot and so on and so forth? I think that, in all honesty, I'm beginning to get a feeling that some people want to destroy this country. Because the killing of that poor officer seems very clear to me what could have happened. And to begin to expand it for whatever reasons, beyond the ordinary, I think that some people are just hell-bent on destroying this country. And I bleed inside. Because in such cases, the beginning, you jolly well might not know where it will end. I'll leave it at that.
In most cases.
In most cases. In fact, I must say in all cases.
In all cases.
You don't know how it's going to end.
Turulope Lunge on YouTube says, elder statesmen in this country are irresponsible in their statements. They keep playing the ethnic card at every point in time. Tolu Lars says, but Uncle JD, the video that led to the demotion of the general was right. Couldn't they have handled it differently?
You see, these things are sometimes not what, we need to be very careful. There is something called military discipline. Some of the issues they are bringing up, of course, are right. But there is something called military discipline. And unless...
Which you knew, actually.
Yes, and unless we allow the system take care of these things and we keep interfering, we are planting a very, very bad seed. A very bad seed. I've not been to the war front, but I can imagine if I could put a phone call through to any soldier to tell you what it's like in the war front. In the war front is a mix. You don't have the Division 1 with Fulanis and Division 3 with Yorubas. No, it's a mix. Once you begin to plant these thoughts, it is very dangerous.
You don't want to go that
very, very dangerous. You don't want to go. And can you imagine our country without an army? We need to be careful. We need to be extremely careful.
Okay, let's take a look at this story. Mbazulike Amechi IPOB warned northern elders against attack on Igbo. That's another one here in the papers.
Yeah, that's another thing. You see, these things keep propping up in the papers, and I also believe that there are some people who want to divide this country. Now, if this country decides, if we decide as a people that we want to, everybody to go his own way, why can't we just do it peacefully instead of raising the stakes? As it is now, the average Nigerian now cannot put one meal in his stomach. And I don't think he cares whether the person who gives him that meal is from the north or from the south. The irony is this: amongst us as a people, we don't have this problem. It's our political leaders that keep planting this narrative. One of the best friends I ever had who stood by me at the time of trouble I will never forget is from the East. He's from the East. At that time when my fellow whatever from the West abandoned me, he was the one who stood by me. And we are the best of friends till today. I can walk anywhere in his house. He can do so likewise. We have them around. The people that surround me in my house are from the North. But when we keep planting this narrative of this and that, and it's all for political gain, I am not saying that these things don't exist. Nobody should get me wrong. But when we keep pushing this narrative, pushing it too far, then I believe very strongly that some people want this. I am not against separation if we all agree, and we can do so, without any force. It's been done in other countries. Nigeria should not be an exception. If we want to go our separate ways, why don't we just sit down at a round table and let everybody find his way instead of this rhetoric?
Right, indeed. For those watching on Facebook and YouTube, I'll be taking your comments very shortly, but we need to quickly just drop this headline in. After this headline, we'll come to Facebook and YouTube to take more comments. The Punch is here. States cash crunch worsens. NLC opposes borrowing pension funds.
We must not let those governors, please, that
if you saw the way I shouted at them this morning.
Yes, we under no condition should we let...
This is not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. They will not touch our pension fund. Because look, as it is now, you remember yesterday we were talking, some pensioners in Anambra, I think, had not been paid since 2018. That is gratuity.
Yeah.
We should not allow this government. I watched Fire Me on television the other day, and I wish I had recorded myself for you to see my reaction. I didn't say, there was somebody seated next to me. I didn't say, don't ask me who he was. Yeah, there was somebody seated next to me. I didn't say a word, but I could see my face when he was making excuses. Yes, we need these funds for social development and this and that. I said, if you see one governor, for example, just bought, he hasn't paid salaries and so. He bought a vehicle for about 65 million, bulletproof, and sat in it, and I beg, Sheriff, under no circumstance must we allow them touch our pension funds. And I call on the NLC that I'm thinking in Yoruba. I think I need.
It's fine. It's fine.
I think I need a break. I'll let me walk over to Wazobia.
That would make sense. That would make sense a lot.
Oh dear me.
let's take 2 or 3 comments off of Facebook. Uncle Jimmy, this is my first time seeing your face. Watching. Okay, let me just skip. He said he's watching on Facebook. Of course, you are dropping comments on Facebook. He said the die has already been cast, and very soon they will start seeing a lot of resistance from different sects of the country. There is nothing that does not have an expiry date. Even the world does.
So what
talking about the Nigerian is saying that the way our leaders think they are leading us. Will turn around to shock them one day.
I mean, look at the answers that took place. They were different nationalities. Do you understand what I'm saying? They were different because being a journalist, I looked out for that to see, is there an ethnic coloration in this? Of course not. If you saw all the names. And the youth don't have that problem. And like I say, if we want to go a separate ways, let it be the whatever of the majority. Right. We can't just allow 1 or 2 people stand up and saying they're talking on behalf of whatever, not something forum or this thing, talking on behalf of Yorubas and put the country into disarray and into war. At a time when even without war, we cannot have. They have the money, they have the means, they have the private jets. It's time for us now to start confronting these people. To say, come and put yourself on the line. Bring your family, bring your children. Next time you are going to hit the streets, you are saying these things. Put your children forward, put yourself forward. Stop talking from the safety of some nice... Sheriff, it's 7:30. It's 8 o'clock.
Yeah, wait. I have this one. Daniel Kalu says he's watching from South Korea. He said, well, I did for Nigeria.
Yeah.
Okay, there's this comment I would like to read here. Neo Lawyer says, borrowing from pension fund summed up to insensitivities of our political leaders. And Andrew Akamalafe, this is one that I want you to react to. He said, NLC is just a toothless bulldog.
Yes, but we'll give them teeth. You know, if you don't have teeth, you can go to the dentist to give them dentures. We need to back them on this. We can't just sit back and say they're toothless bulldog. The governors must not, capital N-O-T, have access to because the reason is very clear. They will give you enough reasons, it's for development, for this, for that. But we all know what happens to the cookie jar now. Anybody who doesn't know has bound himself to the Philistines, a phrase I always like using. The truth of the matter is we should not let them go anywhere until we begin to see what we'll call real transparency in the handling of public funds.
Yeah, indeed. We'll take just one from Twitter. Oluwa Femi on Twitter says, from the government and army top echelons, why must we support this nonsense? Because, quote, army discipline nonsense. Is it not politics that has kept these inept service chiefs in positions despite the fact that they've been due for retirement for years?
I agree with you. But what is the alternative? You want an army in disarray? If that is what you want, let's close up the country. I agree with you. There's politics everywhere, even in your home, in my home. There is politics everywhere. So what do? Do we want to close up? Let's close up the country and go home?
And shut down the army and shut down the government, yes. And shut down everybody.
You can't eat your cake, have it, and keep it in the fridge. So if we say because politics here and there, we must manage the situation. That's where I'm going. I'm not saying it's far from perfect, but we must manage what we have. And if we keep wanting to throw grenades in a burning fire, good luck to us.
Good luck. Jimmy, what's coming up at 9?
I think I'm fine. I think we'll extend the discussion on this and other matters. We were also going to talk about protocols, the kind of how we need to manage ourselves. For example, I made an example. Somebody is bereaved. You get there, you say, I'm sorry, you sit down and let that person talk. You don't start asking questions. How did it happen? What was the last meal he had? Who is the doctor who treated him? And putting people under pressure. So those little things that will make us a better society is what I'm tired of politics. Like I told you, I'm getting very tired. We seem to be getting nowhere. We might as well start talking amongst ourselves how best we can live in this kind of situation. I told you, Nigeria is what it is.
Yes, you did.
So let's see how you can survive even in the midst of all this confusion.
Fantastic, Jimmy. Thank you so much for coming around.
Yeah.
That's coming up at 9. We'll be streaming on Facebook and YouTube at the time. All right, join Jimmy Disu on Daily Digest.
Can I quickly say something?
Yeah.
Very quickly. Tomorrow's discourse is going to be interesting.
Okay.
I'm getting 2 or 3 young people
All right.
on the streets. One of them is a security guard.
Oh.
Yes, ordinary people.
Okay.
I want us to listen to what they might have to say.
I can't wait for that one.
Neither can.
I can't wait.
Don't deceive
No,
us.
I can use my mobile app now. What are you going to say, Jimmy? Stop it! What do you want to say?
If I'm just waiting for Nigerian Railway to get their act together, I'm moving with you. Anywhere you go,
come and be going.
Anywhere you go, I go.
Jimmy, thank you so much.
All right.
Lagos, we have a great conversation at 8 o'clock with Barrister Monday Ubani. Let's talk further on the constitutionality of the president shunning the National Assembly. We're back in a moment.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.